What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast, where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Really just give you an opportunity to think and see and experience life just a little bit differently, even for just a little bit at a time here. So welcome. I'm your host, California Cal, and this is episode 60.
Damn, dude.
We going in, and I'ma go hard. No, really though, it's pretty crazy. Like, this episode is titled, so this is episode 60, and we're titling this "The Day I Saw a Gangsta Cry," and maybe even tacking on reevaluating trauma, because that's kind of what this is about too. I was originally going to call this episode "Embrace the Pain to Avoid Suffering," but I think that's kind of like its own whole topic, rather than the title of the entire show. So, yeah, man, hope you guys are having a beautiful day. It sounds really echoey. I don't know why, I'm trying to, like, as you can tell, I'm slowly piecing the house together. Well, you know, if you ever get to actually see these videos, I'm slowly piecing the house together. So you keep seeing me at different angles with different things in the background and different furniture and different setups and different tables and whatever, different chairs and all that. I actually got a new chair, which is dope. Finally got a dinner table, and the house is coming together. Like, the last thing I need is a dope office desk, but I can't figure out exactly how I want to set it up, because I don't know, this little side camera angle is kind of what it's going to have to be if I keep the desk here, and I'm not sure if I like this or not. I want to set up where I don't have to move it back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I want everything to just be up, ready, don't ever have to fucking touch it. It just stays there, just dust it off every couple days and use it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, so fuck it. So let's just really get into this, right? First of all, I want to say that I'm incredibly grateful for quality ass people and people who understand shit in similar ways that I understand shit, I guess. I guess that's really or even, like, not even ways that I understand, but ways that we both relate and understand each other and are able to teach and learn from each other. There you go. So it's crazy because spending the weekend with my kids, like, it was so amazing, man. I missed them so much. You know, they were in Mexico and, like, you know, for a few weeks, and having them come back was just so great, dude. Like, I miss them so much. They're both just growing up, and I'm so proud of both of them. And I see that, you know, Nate, all the shit he's dealing with, turned 16. Like, it's pretty phenomenal that he's up to what he's up to, and he has the mindset that he has. And, you know, I hope that he really gets it, the stuff that we're talking about, you know, and I think he does. And to me, that makes me so proud. It's like, it's so fucking cool, you know. It's like shit that I'm learning that it took me up to turning 35 to learn. If he can actually understand at least a fraction of the stuff that I'm teaching him or showing him or explaining or whatever, then that gives him that many more years in advance. You know what I'm saying? If he can absorb 1% of all the stuff we're saying, then that's at least a year's worth of fucking headaches saved, you know, like, and sometimes when we go through these issues, it feels like a lifetime, right? And that's crazy. That's kind of like leads towards into this whole episode. But what I also want to say is I'm also grateful for my homie Sebastian. That's why I say thank you for the call, bro. I appreciate you calling me and always encouraging me to do more and step out of my comfort zone and understanding when and why, like, exactly what I'm saying. You know, it's like, bro, you already know 100% we're going to do ceremony together. We're going to be in Peru together, or Colombia, whichever, or wherever. I don't know. It could be wherever. But you already know it's going to happen. I already know it's going to happen. When is the kind of dangling thing. I know it's been a couple years, and I think that's just when it's right. And I know for a fact it's going to happen. And I appreciate you giving me the space to need to be where I'm at with the whole thing to, develop whatever I need to do and, make it happen. Because neither of us are forceful people. We're both very like, all right, like it is what it is, like very present, And I appreciate your presentness, Sebastian. So thank you. And I appreciate your brotherhood, your friendship, however you want to call it. Yeah, man. Yeah. And, and fuck, man. It's just so crazy saying, really going into what we're grateful for. Like, this is just reminds me of my kids again. It's like the conversations me and Nate have are phenomenal, dude. And like, I know Royal's just observing all this stuff, and I got to see Royal play with other kids in the park finally, where like they got to play for reals. It wasn't none of this weird, like, oh, keep your distance. It was like, nah, like there's a fucking cool ass Mexican family having a birthday party or a baby shower or some shit at the park. And we're there just playing at the same park, and it's like their kids played with my kid as if he was family. They're like pushing each other down the slides. They're like giving each other like headbutts. It's like friendly and like, high fives and like pushing each other and tickling each other and just, there's all like little kids. And there was like older kids, little kids, and like, there was kids who were a little younger than my youngest son, and kids who were a little older. And they're just playing, and I'm like, damn, like, I see Royal just being really kind and really sweet and caring, excuse me, to these other kids and how he's interacting with them. And I'm like, damn, I feel good about this. Like, this is awesome. Like, I see that there, like, for example, like there's a kid's toy, like a kid left his toy on the play structure thing, and the Royal grabs it and starts running to give it to the kid. And he's not trying to take it for himself or like, like, no, like he was taking it, trying to find the owner of it. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like that was his natural way of doing things. And I thought that was pretty tight.
Damn, dude.
So it's really interesting too. So like, let's tie this all together, right? And kind of like go into the more raw part of this whole thing, which I'm sure more people get excited about rather than wholesome stuff. But I also know people are like excited about wholesome stuff too, because the internet and the airwaves are filled with just bullshit. So positivity, it's like, I'm not this, like, I don't ever want to be a showman of positivity. I just want to be that. And I think my whole thing is that, like, dude, positivity isn't something to be forced. Like being a positive person means taking time to feel shitty. And I think it's so simple, but yet it's like, it's so hard for so many people, right? Like we all struggle with being happy, and it's like it comes in waves, or it's like some people will be happy for a couple of weeks and then several weeks they need to be out. And some people it's several days and they need to be out. So what I learned was that, like, damn, if you can get like literally any fraction or point percentage better, if you can not stay mad for half a second longer, if it takes you an hour to cool off, if it takes you a day to cool off, if now it takes you 23 hours and 59 seconds, that's improvement. Like it really is. If you're angry and it now takes you, 59 minutes, 58 minutes instead of an hour, if you can do these things, like that's improvement. So I think as long as we keep working towards that improvement, we get to feel good. So part of being happy and positive is embracing the pain to avoid suffering.
Damn, dude.
Like that sentence alone is pretty dope. Like I think that goes hard. Like, and it's true. Like when we embrace the pain, we avoid suffering. Now, if you really think about it, like when I first like thought of that or heard that or whatever, like I only can recite things that I've learned or heard from other people or wherever. And, anything that I've thought of is a product of anything I've heard from anybody else. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know who said it, or if I made it up or somebody else made it up or whatever. Like it's all been passed around and everybody's basically saying the same shit in different, in their own version. So when it comes to like positivity or business or like, being happy and shit. So embracing the pain to avoid suffering, like that's fucking dope, dude. Like I think about it and how do I want to say this? Like, when we can really go back and start recalling the earliest memories of when we felt certain feelings and experienced certain experiences, that gives us the opportunity to go back and embrace that pain. And then from there, we get to avoid the suffering of it later. So that's essentially what healing trauma is. So like when we hear people talk, oh yeah, we need to heal trauma. Like the way I would always look at trauma was like, I would think of two things when I would hear trauma. I would think of like getting your head smashed in, like, you know, like oh, there's trauma to the head. Like I would think of that, or I would think of like getting raped or like severely beaten as a child. Like to me, that's where like, or, you know, getting molested or something. Like to me, that's what I thought trauma was. I didn't realize that trauma comes in many different forms, and it comes in ways where like you didn't even like the whole thing, you would never really consider it as, oh my gosh, that's traumatic. But the reality of it is that we take it and it causes us suffering. And it's like, until we go back and embrace it, and this is like, I think we talked about this in the last episode too, which is like, because we're able to, this has been scientifically proven that we're able to only recall the last memory of the last memory of the last memory. So like every time we think of an event or something that happened, we're only thinking of the last time that happened. Now, because of that, that gives us the opportunity to go back and embrace it. So when we use that, we can go back and embrace whatever pain, and the suffering stops. So for me, like, man, I can go so many different ways with this. So a small version of this would be, one time I was old enough, you know what I'm saying? Like I was cracking jokes. I was talking shit with my dad. We were driving in the car and I said something really off the wall. And he's like, what? Like, what are you on, drugs? Like, you know, it was just like, that was kind of his response to the types of jokes that I was saying. Like we were joking back and forth. We were talking whatever, but what I said was just so like out of nowhere that I just took it too far, you know? And like, and he said that, and yeah, granted, that's probably not the best response, but like, that was just what happened. You know, it's no diss to my dad or death. It's just, fuck, that was just what happened. And to me, when I heard that, I didn't take it as like a rebuttal back to my joke or my observation or whatever the hell I said. I took it as, whoa, you really see me as like the worst human beings that we know. And it was like, I'm looking at people where it'd be like, you know, he'd pointed out like, damn, like this is why we don't do drugs, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, and he was just joking back to the response, right? But like how I took it was like, holy shit, he thinks I'm stupid. He thinks I'm this. He thinks I'm that. Like he thinks I'm the worst person ever. And I remember just like holding back tears and like just feeling so heartbroken. Now, my dad didn't mean anything, you know what I'm saying? Like that was never his intention. And that wasn't my intention either. It was like neither of us were out to hurt each other in this scenario. It was just joking, boom, I got offended. And, you know, my dad wasn't being mean. Like I said, it was just in response to the type of shit that I was saying. So, and it was almost like I was old enough by the way I was joking for him to have said that, you know, and like, and I think he knew I was already like, what was it? I don't know if I already know how to cuss and stuff by then or not. I'm not sure. I forget. But so I took that and I'm like, and so I realized that, holy shit, that tied into so this is crazy. So it's like, that's an incident that happened when I'm maybe like, what, like, you know how old I was? Maybe like, I was somewhere between like 7 and 10 years old, I want to say, when this happened. We're just driving in the car. We're going to Emerson Boulevard next to Taco Bell. I remember, and I think it was still Coco's at the time, where they took me for career day, which is now Fuck Hadao. And I remember that, and it was just, and so that event connected to, I'm trying to think if I should go forwards or backwards with this yet. So let's go forwards with this and then we'll go backwards. So that tied into the same thing, sorry. Okay, let's keep going. So that tied into the same thing as when I went through high school and kept failing. No. Let's go backwards. Sorry. Let's rewind. Let's go backwards first. So, as a little kid, the first most traumatic thing I experienced was that I can read. No, this isn't the first thing, but the first major thing. No. Let's tie this all together. Fuck it. Okay, so the very first time that I've been able to retrace feeling not good enough, unheard, and like I don't have a voice was when I was a little kid. I was several months old. I think I've told the story before, and I wanted specifically orange juice. This memory took a lot of work to uncover. Like, it took me forever to get to this memory. Like, I went through a lot of memories and embracing pain to have access to this early memory. And that's kind of something that I've learned is like, once we go back down the timeline and we start remembering the first time and you really dive into that and start embracing that, earlier things start unlocking, because that will kind of like that'll unlock the door to that, and that unlocks the door to that, and kind of, it just goes deeper. So I'm learning like, holy shit, like I feel unheard. I feel like I'm voiceless, and I'm like several months old. I am voiceless. I can't talk, and I just remember pointing and being like, and my mom couldn't figure it out. It was early in the morning. We were in my house in Claremont. And she's just like, what? Giving me milk, giving me water, like everything. And just, we can't figure it out, And it's like, sometimes that happens. But like I said, I've done the work to be able to uncover this memory. And it's like, there's a chance there's even more shit before that. So I look at this and I'm like, oh shit. I felt voiceless. So then, boom, first grade comes around. I'm going to Erickson in Mira Mesa, Viking Pride. And so in first grade, my little sister, my grandma, and my great aunt all passed away in the same month. Fast forward to second grade, I'm still just life just kind of went blank between there and this incident in second grade. And I remember a couple moments, I just remember several images and a handful of times people were talking shit to me or my friends. And that's it from second grade. But the earliest point that I have that I can remember anything between first and second grade that's outside of my sister's funeral and a handful of therapy sessions and stuff was that So the first memory I have is when I get called out in class. I get called out, hey, okay, everybody turn your book to page whatever. And at that time, our book was all the subjects were in the same book. We're in elementary school. So it's math, English, whatever, all in the same book. So the teacher says, turn your book to page whatever. I turn my thing and she says, all right, read question 2 or whatever. So I'm reading it and I'm reading math when we're supposed to be reading a whole sentences, and it's 4 times whatever, and then the whole class is looking at me, and basically the response was took it as I'm dumb and what I have to say is not good enough. The whole class laughed at me. The teacher, I forgot what the teacher said exactly, and I might have documented this before, but at the moment it's slipping my mind. But I just remember sarcasm was her type of thing, is that sarcasm? Kind of oh my gosh, it's you can't follow the simplest directions. Condescending, there you go, that's what it was, condescending. I just remember her being condescending. I can't remember the exact words right now, but I remember a teacher being condescending, fucking Miss Eber, Miss Herbert, Miss Herbert. That lady was a bitch, dude, real shit. It's she had no compassion, man, but whatever, it is what it is, all part of life lesson. Anyway, I just remember feeling so stupid and so voiceless. I don't even remember if I read the question or if I figured it out. I think they just skipped me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Is they were just okay, who's actually capable of reading this? And it was man, she was so sneak dissing me, not even sneak, but yeah, I don't know, just slide dissing me, Like, dude, what the fuck, man? But I remember that, and that's at least what I made all of this mean, right? The whole class probably has a whole different truth. They're probably like, oh, it's funny. Like, but what I made it mean was that, like, that reinforced that whole thought and everything of like, I can't talk. My voice isn't good enough. I don't know how to speak. So then fast forward, I'm feeling dumb in school. That's the continuous thing. That's my continuous thing. And it's like, the fuck, I'm going through. So, okay, so let's catch up. So that incident, oh, what are you on drugs? And I took that as like, oh, I'm so stupid. What do you think? You think I'm dumb, And I would always take you. I think that like people think I'm dumb, and I would make things mean that I'm dumb, and like I don't know how to talk. And those were my things, It's like going silent for a year in second grade. That that kind of definitely reinforced I don't know how to talk. Growing up, I'm just like, people aren't understanding any of the shit I'm saying. I'm feeling like, it's like, so I played the role of, hey, I'm dumb, and that was the only way I can get attention because I did terrible at school. No matter how hard I tried, I just kept doing horrible and horrible and horrible. So it was almost like I just kept having to prove to myself that's who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, life kept feeling like, all right, this is who you are, this is who you are, who you are. And I'm like, why do you keep proving this to me? And it was eventually to show me that it's like, well, because that's not who you are.
Damn, dude.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is why when we go back and we embrace the pain, we get to avoid the suffering. So now as I sit here speaking, sharing very like personal things continuously and sharing my strategy and my playbook and my story of how I went from no voice to being able to speak and lead in certain instances and circumstances and be a leader and to be a voice and have a voice is crazy. Like, on top of that, like, everything reinforced that I'm basically invisible. My race, like, I was never, being half Chinese, half Norwegian, I look like a white person, not to everybody. I don't know. I look like something different to everybody. It just depends how I'm dressed, depends on the time of year, it depends on the tan that I have, it depends on with the people I'm around. So I realized, like, a lot of times when I'm like actually get dressed to go out, what I think is cool for like styles is like a combination of like, my number one fashion thing I think is cool, not over the top, but like how pimps dress. I fucking think that is so tight. That's like the number one inspiration for like all my clothing choices and stuff. And I know that's really weird to say, but it's just true. Like, I think it looks fucking cool. I've always thought that was cool how like Nate Dogg would dress, and also that like West Coast gangster rap like style mixed with Hawaiian type style, mixed with that like free hippie type of vibe, mixed with like that old school 80s bright colors, and like surfer / bro, like desert rat type of like attire. Like, all of those mixed together, I feel like is my attire. And back in the day, everybody would laugh and joke that I was Mexican as fuck because the way I dressed, and you would often catch me with, I'd be hanging out with essays and whatever, and like, so people will see me differently. So it kind of provokes different things. But what would happen is I was never Asian enough. I was never white enough. I was never mixed enough. I was never like standing in a line of mixed people. I don't even get considered mixed. Like, I mean, not all the time, but that's how it would seem. And then it's like, I felt dirty in my blood because I was half white. And I had to realize I had to stop identifying my Norwegian heritage as white, because it's like there's actually real culture. And it's like, my Norwegian side of the family still fucking hunts and freezes shit and makes their own jerky and all this shit. Like, shout out to you guys. Like, I love you guys. Like, my Wisconsin family's dope as fuck, and they keep it up. And we still have family in Norway. And so basically what I did was I embraced that culture, and now I'm free from it. I'm free from the suffering. I don't feel dirty anymore because of my blood. And now it's funny because it's shifting. Now it's not cool to be Chinese. But for the longest time, all I wanted was for people to acknowledge that I'm Asian, you know? So it's really fucking trippy because when we go, so that was what I did and how I went back to embrace the pain. And like I said, I would set timers. I would be in a good mood, set a timer and be like, I'm going to go back and think about all that pain and feel it for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long. Boom. As soon as that buzzer goes off, the timer goes off, I'm back to where I was in the first place, which is in that happy place, in that safe place. And I would go back and leave a healing memory and leave some sort of compassion for myself as if I was an adult looking at my kid self. Because what I learned during my last ayahuasca journey was that we need to love ourselves the way that our parents loved us when we were kids, or that if you have kids, the way that you love your baby when they're a baby. You know, when you have kids and when they're just a baby and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're so fragile and their entire response, like their life is your responsibility, like completely. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like, they can't even walk, you know, they can't even sit. Like we have to have that same love and cuteness and cuddliness and playfulness with ourselves. And I was talking to my son earlier and I was just telling him like, dude, like what would young, innocent version of you do? And how would that young little baby snapey version of yourself find compassion, find playfulness in this scenario? It's like, dang, it's kind of hard. Like I kind of forget. I'm like, bro, like that's how people get old, is by forgetting what it's like. I'm like, dude, to be real, like I see this a lot where like people often forget what it's like to be a teenager by the time you even turn like 25, you know? And that's sad. We got to remember who we are as kids, not run from it. We need to embrace it. That's why we're suffering as we get older, is because we're not embracing it. And this is what I'm realizing is like, I'm going back also to the same thing where I realized why I'm titling this The Day I Saw Gangsta Cry. For one, that's an Andre Nicotina song. Shout out to Andre Nicotina. That's a dope ass song. I love that song. But I remember when that was real for me, and that's why that song hit so hard for me, is because it's like, and the lyrics of that is, the day I still remember the first day I saw a gangster cry. Didn't know, didn't ask, didn't wonder why. And I'm just like, yo. And I remember I was in elementary school, dude. And this fool had a gun. And it was shit was on and cracking. And we're going to take a quick break. And we're going to be right back. And we're going to get into that story. So, 1 second. Much love.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody?
California Cal.
We bike. I'm your host. And the hostess with the mostest, with the hostess cupcakes, with the oven bakes, and the chicken bakes, and the milkshakes. The hell was it? I wonder if I got my package. That'd be cool. I got a fucking, I ordered an ashtray for my truck, my Jeep, whatever. The center console one, that motherfucker's been missing for a minute. So, excuse me. So, dude, what are we gonna do here? Okay, fuck it. So, I'll just give you guys the story. I was gonna make you wait a little bit. Fuck it. Let's go. So, I remember the day I saw Gangsta Cry. I was in elementary school. I'm in 4th grade. I'm not going to say the name because these people are still around. And I wouldn't air them out like that. So I remember I see homie there and fucking, he's crying. And in my school, it's Asian gangsters. And this is like, when I was a kid, like the first generation of this gang was like people 1 and 2 grades older than me. So yeah, it was people 1 and 2 grades older than me that were like the start of a lot of shit that we've seen trickle down and evolve and change into shit that it never was in the first place. But I remember I hit the corner and I'm like, oh shit. So keep in mind that like in school, I'm like a quiet dude. It's weird, man, because you could like, as I got older, you could catch me in two modes. Like absolutely silent, or if it was the absolute right setting, I was just full of jokes and would not stop fucking talking. And there's only a handful of places I felt safe and people that considered me funny. So it's interesting because kind of tying into the whole thing of like me feeling silent, I remember literally going places and people would ask my friends, like, is your friend mute? Like, does your friend know how to talk? Like, and people would ask that about me in front of me. And I would just wouldn't even say anything, like, because I'm on this, like, I don't know, dude. Like, my brain was just flip-flop between, like, super serious, I want to fucking kill people, and I don't give a fuck, like, I'm just gonna fuck around. And it was like, that's weird, like, because I didn't know I would go in and out of these modes. And it wasn't until I looked back at, like, my yearbook or things happened on, like, or, like, Facebook happened and all of that. And it's like, you get to actually interact with these people still. And people tell you about yourself or bring up memories or whatever. It's like, oh, you were so funny. Like, you're the funniest person I remember in class, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I was funny? Like, what the fuck? Like, really? And then there's other people like, bro, like, damn, like I was not gonna fuck with you. And then other people are like, Calvin's scary? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no way. Like, he's such a friendly guy. And it was like, so a lot of people knew me in different ways, but like, I think ultimately, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. I don't really know. It's funny because I'm like trying to think what I was like in high school, and it's like, I guess it just depends who you ask. Yeah, it just really depends who you ask. So I just remember though, at a certain point, I just turned like really mad. And I don't know what I was even so mad at. I was just fucking like pissed and angry and like, I don't know, it was a trip, dude. I don't even know what exactly I was mad at. And I think it's because I didn't understand what being a teenager was. Like, I didn't understand. Nobody told me it was normal, that it's okay to feel shitty and all this. Excuse me. And nobody told me that it was normal to feel, and to think suicidal thoughts here and there and to have the shit pop up and all of that. And nobody told me to sit there and feel it out and heal through it. It was more like everybody's approach is like, get over it. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, let's go do this. And that's like, nah, because really that just keeps running from it, and that's suffering. So like by the time you hit 26 and you're all ragged and worn the fuck out and wonder why like you're so unhappy, is because we haven't gone back and healed all this trauma. So what I didn't realize, that like me seeing a fifth grader having a gun because his girlfriend cheated on him or broke up with him or some shit, and being like, whoa, like shit's real out here. And to me, I had already experienced death. I had been getting chased home for a long time by bullies, like kids hella older than us, who literally chased me and my two friends home every single day. Literally, dude, like for reals. And this went on for like, I don't even know how long, like 2.5 school years. And until the day we stood up to him. And I've told this story before too. And it's like, I think that's kind of also why I'm doing this podcast, so I can just forget all the shit that I've gone through. Not forget it, but document it, and just kind of like, I've healed it. So let's get it out, let's keep healing. Let's keep going. Because part of this whole thing too is that like, as we go from kids to adults, we acquire and go through different traumas. And what I realized for myself, and what my mission is now, is to acknowledge all the shit from adulthood that's gone off and cracked off and equaled trauma that I haven't even recognized as trauma. And I just wrote it off as like, this is just kind of what happens. All right, next. Like, I'm really good at being present. So it's like, I like when I'm like being present so much, and I'm just boom next, let's go. I don't stop and acknowledge that a lot of these things were trauma and they're actually slowing me down. So if I stop and I embrace the pain, then move forward. So that's why you see me documenting all of this shit from my life seemingly being fucking cool to, you know, having to like seemingly being cool, having regular relationship problems and whatever, to me not being in a relationship, to me moving back to my dad's house, to me being homeless, to me staying in hotels, to me staying in my car, to me getting a fucking apartment, like to me raising my kids, to me interacting with their mom, to me growing business at the same time. Like, that's why I'm documenting all of this, is so I can basically embrace it all. And then it's like, what better way to embrace something than to speak on it openly and document it forever?
Damn, dude.
Right? Like, and I think that, oh man, my kid got rice on the floor. I didn't vacuum again. Anyway, like, what better way to really embrace it than to fucking put it out there, right? Because what I figured and what I realized is that, like, going from child to adult, that there's different versions of trauma, and trauma is not this, oh, I got my face smashed in. I mean, that is trauma, but like, and it's also not just, you know, getting raped, molested, or like severely beaten, or growing up with some sort of severe abuse. Nah, trauma is like these little comments. What are you on drugs? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Boom, trauma for me. I didn't even know. People being like, does your friend even know how to talk? Boom, trauma. I didn't even know. They didn't know. They just want to know if I knew how to talk. You know, I'm in elementary school. I'm in 4th grade. I see a kid with a gun gonna shoot somebody over his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, I've experienced death. Yeah, life's about life or death. Boom, trauma. Now I can't pull up to stoplights like a normal person. Now I don't see colors the same. I don't see clothes the same. I don't see hairstyles the same. I don't see anything the same, because I've now been exposed to gang culture and what all these things mean. I can't even look. Left and right occur differently to me. Blue and red occur differently to me. You know, green occurs differently. Like, all these things occur in different ways now since that. Sports hats, teams, logos, all these things, they all occur differently because of gang culture. And I realized how polluted my brain got by all of this. And then rap culture, boom, reinforced everything I was already experiencing. Because when I was experiencing all this gangbang shit, like, rap wasn't there to back it up. It wasn't popular. We didn't even have internet. So it was like, maybe... I remember the only rap song I heard, like the first rap song I ever heard on the radio, was Gin and Juice. And this was after years of listening to the radio already. Like, the first rap song ever was on, at the time, I think it was still just called Jammin' Z. No. What did they call it back then? I don't know. But it was, you know, Jammin' Z 90 originally, like back in the day, early 90s, late 80s, right? And I remember never hearing rap on the radio, and then I heard that, and I was like, yo, like, that was the first time I heard rap on the radio when I was a kid anyway. And I remember, oh shit, we didn't even know what we were hearing. It was just like, holy fuck, dude. And then I remember and then from there it was just on, like, people, like, you know, people's cousins, homies' cousins, and whoever, we started getting access to different tapes and shit. And like, I remember me and the homie jacked his cousin's X-Rated tape. And if you know X-Rated, the rapper, like, especially in the 90s, there was nothing more hardcore. Like, I don't even know if I can, you know, like, what else is more hardcore than X-Rated in the early 90s, dude? Like, there's still nothing harder than X-Rated. Like, it was just so hard. Anyway, I realized that, damn, seeing this shit isn't normal as a kid. Like, seeing somebody with a gun in 4th grade, I mean, that's not a normal child experience. That is of trauma. So now, a lot of people, when you grow up in the hood and you've seen some shit, seeing a gun doesn't scare you. Getting a gun pulled on you doesn't scare you. Getting shot at doesn't even scare you. It's just like your instincts turn on. And instincts turning on is different than getting scared, because you don't have time to get scared. I've been shot at. I've had guns pulled on me. And it's not, it got to the point where it's just kind of like, fuck, the first time I got a gun pulled on me, I was in second grade. This guy pulled a shotgun on us when we were walking home from school because my friend kicked a berry off a tree. There's little green berries on this tree, and they would turn blue. They weren't blueberries, but they were just these little things that grew on this random bush. And we would always walk to school and we would be like, kick a rock or fucking kick these berries, you know, just be doing some shit. This is before those people would chase us. And boom, he kicked it. Dink, it hit the guy. This guy has an old crappy truck. And this little berry just bump, it hit the hood, and the guy fucking pulled over. We're on Weston Hill and Capricorn. Fucking old ass white dude pulled over, busts out a double barrel shotgun, and it's like, you motherfuckers, and fucking cocks the thing. And we're like, oh shit, we're fucking running full speed going south. Yeah, going south on Weston Hill. Running full speed, dude. And the guy didn't shoot at us or nothing, but he, you know what I mean? He pulled, and I remember this. There was a bayonet on it too. He had a double barrel shotgun with a bayonet. And I remember, because it all happened in slow motion. I remember he pulled over. I'm like, no, we're going to kick the shit out of this guy. And then he popped the back seat, and he had this old, big, rusty, like Ford or Chevy, like old school truck. He fucking pops the back seat, pulls out the double barrel shotgun with a bayonet. And I remember just the whole thing in slow motion. I'm like, yo, we ain't kicking anybody's ass. Like, run! And it literally felt like the scene out of Colors, dude. Like, I remember when I grew up and I watched that movie, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, yeah, that was pretty dramatic, but like, that's sure as fuck what it felt like the slow motion and the, like, I remember just, we were like running in zigzags, and it's like, if he would have shot, we would have been fucking blasted. Like, the double barrel shotgun from far away, like, area, you know what I mean? From like just like, you know, like 30 yards away, like, we would have been toast. And I mean, granted, if that dude shot fucking second graders with a shotgun, he would have been on some other shit. But the fact that he pulled it on us, I mean, it was weird because it didn't teach us a lesson. We were just like, man, fuck that guy. Like, we still kicked berries on the way to school. I guess we were probably a little more careful, but it didn't stop us from doing dumb shit. But I mean, I guess it was kind of reinforced that, like, whoa, you know. But what I'm learning is like, what I learned is that, like, dude, and what I'm learning is that, like, that shit is trauma. All this stuff equals trauma. So it got to the point where, like, by the time we actually got shot at, we were just like, the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, getting surrounded by, like, 40 people is scarier than getting shot at, I think. Like, having to fist fight it out where it's like, there's been times where I stood up for a homie. I remember I was in 4th grade and there were 6th graders. Yeah, because we were on the big kid side of school already. And my homie was getting picked on, and I told this story, I think. And I fucking stood up for him, and they're throwing balls at my head and all this shit, and I beat the shit out of the 6th grader. And then I stepped up to everybody else and was like, what's up, you know? And as they're throwing balls at me, and then everybody eventually stopped, and I was like, I don't know, but I was like, man, like, fuck this, like, you know, boom, trauma. Getting chased home from school, boom, trauma. Having all these incidences where, you know, you got the answer wrong, boom, trauma. Dude, do you know how many Fs I got on tests? That's trauma also. Having to stay after school. Oh, everybody gets to go home. Calvin, you got to stay here. Like, do you know how many times that happened to me? How many times? That's crazy because I didn't even realize that till right now that, damn, like, yeah, that sucked. Like, seeing my name on the board every single fucking day, that sucked. Getting assigned the same math teacher for 4 years in a row where I failed every year, like, how's that fair? Then it turns out to be my homie's fucking uncle. And I'm like, what? Like, I found out years later, which, you know, much love to my boy Adam. But like during high school, oh, I hated your uncle, man. And even years after, just to keep it real, I got nothing but love now. It's not his fault at all. He's doing his job. But like, I understand I was definitely played my role. But It's just funny how life works like that, right? So it's until you go back and heal the trauma. And it's like, it wasn't till I found out that that was my homie's uncle that I actually stopped and went, whoa, hold on a sec. Under this context, I can't hate this guy. And, you know, I didn't have hate for him. It was just like, man, I don't like this guy. Fuck that guy. That's different than like hating somebody. I don't hate anybody or have hate for anybody or anything. But, you know, finding that out, I'm like, damn, like, you're good people. And it's like, I know your family and I've met other people of your family. And I'm like, damn, you guys are good people. And I was like, I just didn't understand. He didn't understand me. And it was like, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand me. How they're going to teach me? I guess they can't. I guess they won't. I guess that's why I know my life is out of luck, fool. You see what I'm saying? Like, so all of this shit is trauma, though. It's all trauma. Like just talking about this, I'm literally like counting. It was just a joke to me. I'm like, oh, there's my name on the board. Like every day. It got to the point where they didn't even erase it at the end because they're like, well, you're just here. We'll do this. You don't have to get up next time to write it. Like, what the fuck, dude? It was that bad. I'm not even kidding. So the thing is, as we grow up, okay, so for me, I kind of realized that like so I just explained a lot of my like childhood stuff. So for me, I kind of went up to about 20 years old is where I last left off on all my trauma as far as me putting in work to it. So for example, what I mean by that is like when I was 20 is when I broke my skull, neck, and back, dropped out of, I had to drop out of firefighter school, got fired from my job, broke up with my ex of 5.5 years and she got pregnant by, somebody else. And my two best friends got murdered. And I'm just like, fuck, what am I going to do? So that incident was the last where I'm like, yo, that was the actual last trauma I had. But now that if I go from there, so let's say I go from the age of 20 up to the age 35, so fucking much has happened in between. And like, so let's say what? But I've just gone through this being, all right, present. And it's kind of like, some of these things I stop and I feel them out and whatever, but like I need to do more. And I've been in the process of, and I've been doing the work of understanding and reevaluating all the trauma and incidents that have happened and taken place from then till now. Because yes, I did personal development, a lot of work between then till now, up till I was like 26. I just, not even more than, physically going to like classes and seminars and stuff. Like I was doing that for like 4, 5, 6 years straight. Like I was just going hard. And then I went on more of like personal spiritual journey to kind of like help understand and dissect all of those learnings and take all the stuff that you can learn in like a personal development class or something like that. And how does this apply and tie into nature? Because I paid for that stuff, but what can nature teach me? Right? So it's kind of like I was kind of on this quest and I didn't realize it to discover what's the purity of all of this. How can you charge somebody for knowledge? I couldn't wrap my mind around that at a certain point. And I'm like, if it's just knowledge, it's universal. It's a free energy. It shouldn't be charged. It should be given, right? If it's really gonna contain its purity, then it must be given. But at the same time, what I also had to learn was that like in this world, in the modern day world that we live in, money and purchasing and bills are just a part of our construct that we've built for ourselves. It's like needing a charger for your phone. Like, yeah, you got a phone, but you need the charger for it. That's kind of like what money is to having access to the stuff that we enjoy in this modern day and age, right? Before you'd have to go and carve your own fucking wheel or fucking wagon or whatever. Now we just go to the store and buy whatever. But in order to be able to enjoy that, we got to pay the price of money. And now, unless you can set up your life in a way to where you can continuously trade everything and barter, to me, that's my favorite thing. If you ever want to do any sort of business with me, hit me with some kind of trade and barter or whatever, it's like you want me to advertise or something, like, don't be offended if I say no or it's not for me right now or something, because it could be later. And also, I'm very picky about any sponsorships or anything like that. Like, because we've gone this far and I know how annoying commercials are. The only break we have is for me to reset the camera, and it's like 2 seconds every time we do that. So if you're just listening to the audio, it's like you don't even know what happened, Even the video is it's too quick. Excuse me. So I look at all of that's happened. Then I look at all the relationships I've gone through. Then I look at all the jobs I've had since then till now. And I look at all the clients I've interacted with, and all the different people in society I've came across, and all the conversations I've had with people, and all the things people have shared with me, and all of those things, right? They all do something to me. So if I don't go back to embrace any pain or appreciation even, I think that's another piece of this, is when we go back and embrace the pain, I think what's discovered is appreciation. Then what we're left to embrace is appreciation rather than pain. Because after you've gone back to pain so many times, you just kind of like start appreciating different things. It's like, let's say, for example, you watch like the movie Platoon like 400 times, right? Like by the time you've seen it like 20 times, you're pretty desensitized to it. So you're going to start seeing different things. You're going to start looking at the people in the background. Look at that guy's face while that guy gets his head blown off. Like, he's smiling. Or like, oh, look, they left a Pepsi cup in the back. Or like, oh, look, there's a freaking, whatever. Or like shit like that. So you're able to start appreciating different pieces of the film, the cinematography, the acting, the whatever. Or you start seeing, you look deeper, right? So I think that's what happens is when you look deeper, you can kind of understand and appreciate, then eventually you can start laughing at it. Like if you were to literally watch Platoon and see these guys get get blown apart over and over, then like eventually you're gonna kind of embrace that pain, the blunt, like, oh my gosh, like when you see that, it's not gonna be as gnarly because it's like you're now avoiding it's like you're no longer having to do the suffering's gone. And this is a very basic example, right? This goes way deeper, obviously. But it's just an example. It's like you watch a movie, you watch a scene. The more you watch it, the less you kind of get desensitized. And then there's different ways you're allowed to feel different ways about it. And this works the same way with events in our lives. When we go back to things that hurt and pained us and we just wanted to forget, when we go back and we visit it so many times and we've embraced that pain and that hurt and that fear so many times that all that's left is love and familiarity. So once you start becoming familiar there, it's no longer scary. You know what I mean? It's like doing a video game, playing Resident Evil. Like, the fucking fools are about to attack at the next corner because you've already done it a few times. So it's like, all right, now there's no more shock factor. There's no more, It's the same thing. It's like when you go back, and for me to talk about my sister dying, I'll talk about any aspect of it. What do you want to know? I'll talk about any piece of anything I've gone through, no matter how deep it is, because it's like, I'm okay with it. I've embraced that pain, and that makes it okay. So now I can talk about it freely and share to where hopefully it can resonate with others who haven't healed it yet. Or if you have healed it, it's like gives you more context and a little more understanding. And when we have more context and understanding, that equals healing. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
That's kind of all healing is like growing new context that you can actually understand and use on an experiential level.
Damn, dude.
Damn, that was tight. That just kind of rolled off the tongue. So what's interesting is like, when we go back and reevaluate all of our trauma and all of those things, what's on the other side is personal freedom. And I think that's when politics and all this outside shit just stops mattering. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I'm responsible for me, and that's it. And that includes the people that I fucking influence and impact and touch and whatever. You know, it's like, so if other people are influenced by what I do, then I definitely need to be aware of the trauma and the traps and all of this stuff, because trauma is a trap and it makes you old. I think that's a major key to getting old, is like when we become not free from the traumas that's happened, and we just kind of live life and it's just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, and we never actually go back and sit with it and heal it. That's when we become old. And then you start taking on stupid interests that are boring and really mean fucking nothing, when you know there's something deeper to your life and your purpose and your hobbies and your influence and your say so. So at some point, like, a lot of us don't want to face the fact that we're just living these bullshit, like, entertainment to entertainment to entertainment to entertainment to entertainment to entertainment type of lives. Like, that sucks. That's not living. And I'm not here to talk shit on anybody or clown on what you're doing. I'm just encouraging you to, you know, it's like, you don't have to go on some crazy spiritual journey or this or that or none of that shit. But I firmly believe and have experienced, and through raising kids have experienced, that when you dig into doing what you love and healing the shit from the past, it equals being happier and feeling better and being more grateful every single day, which in turn equals looking better, feeling better, sounding better. You know, it's easier to eat healthy. It's easier to start doing good habits when we're on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I encourage everybody to look at our trauma, because that's the shit. Or to look at what is trauma and to look at how we can go back and heal it and do something with it, right?
Damn, dude.
So, yeah, man, that shit's a trip, dude. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? We bike. So, I'd also like to apologize. I realize we're a couple minutes late with dropping this episode. I've been feeling like shit this last weekend, too. Kind of caught a little cold. And nothing crazy. It was just a little, like, runny nose and kind of coffee. Or, no, like, sneezy more than anything. So, just been, you know, drinking some kombucha. I'm going to make some green juice, drinking a lot of water. You know, just kind of eating little, you know, try and eat better, eat less. The best way, I think, to get unsick is to fast. So that's usually what I try and do. Sometimes I kind of, you know, I fall off, whatever. But so what I did was I took the next 2 days off, well, today and tomorrow, the next day off, to be able to just rest and heal up, because I'm realizing on an experiential level that we really have to rest as hard as we work. And I've been working really fucking hard. I don't think anybody can deny that. So yeah, man. Oh, and you know, instead of buying my kiddo a guitar, we got a trip to Alaska instead.
Damn, dude.
So we finna be going to Fairbanks, Alaska. Oh, excuse me. And dude, I'm so fucking stoked. We got a fucking off-road truck to go see some shit he wants to go see. We've got a fucking hot spring tour. We've got a fucking ice sculpture tour. What else are we doing? We're just gonna schmob around the city. Oh man, it's just gonna be sick, dude. I'm so excited. It's his dream to go, so that makes it even like more exciting, you know. Yeah, dude. So like I was saying, like, resting as hard as we work is very important. Take that trip, take that break, take that time, you know, spend that money. Saving money is fucking stupid. And I don't mean that. Okay, let me exactly explain what I mean by that. Now, don't just go burn all your money, obviously, but be intentional with your money. I think if you have what you need for is paid for, and you have extra money and you're just letting it sit, I think it's stupid. I think you should put it somewhere and let it do something. Like, let it make you money, because money's sitting with the inflation of crypto and all the stocks and NFTs and all these things that are going on. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense to just let your money sit there for the sake of sitting there. Like, if you have a goal and you're going to use it for something, cool. But like, I don't know, there's smart investments to make. And this is something I wish I learned when I was younger. I wish I would have found a way to have it more interesting to me. But basically, it's like, you know how you have a fucking coin jar at home or some shit? I have a Crown Royal bag that I put coins in and dollar bills. And what I do is, it's just my extra money, boom, spared, boom, coin style shit at the end, whatever. Well, what I'm learning is like, dude, if you just take $10, $20, whatever, throw it into crypto, throw it into something, right? Anything. There's a whole bunch of different things. I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just barely learning this shit. But I have seen my money fucking jump. And had I known about this shit several years ago, that's like knowing about Bitcoin years ago. It's like that would have been, imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, had you spent fucking 32 cents and now it's 40 something $1,000 per coin, like that's crazy, right? So I never knew that, it's like, and maybe somebody told me, I didn't know how to hear it. I don't know. So I also understand that money, I'm really starting to understand that money's an energy. So it's like the more you give it, the more you put it in a rotation, the more you're going to have to get back. And it's just kind of keeps going in this big circle. And a lot of us has fucked up views on money. And I say that personally from personal experience. Like, I have, I'm not going to create this for myself anymore. I would have bad spending habits before. And it was just very like, because I just so didn't care about money for so long that I'd just be so willy-nilly with all my money and just like, whatever, it'll come back. I'll just make more. Whatever, I'll just come back. I'll make more. But over the last couple years, I stopped having that mentality and I stopped making money. Excuse me. And it's like, holy shit. And that was because kids, relationship, and like, well, hold on. It was more so just because I was in a bad relationship is why that went away. And I was incurring more trauma rather than doing healing and expanding. So as I'm incurring more trauma, it's like I'm not going any fucking where. This is why it's important to leave relationships that don't put you forwards, even though it's fucking hard, And then also it's like looking at codependency. How much of your relationship is codependent on the other person? Because that's not a healthy relationship. At some point, it's going to collapse. And you see the older couples that's happened to, and they're just like fuck this person, and it's like, take the long way home after work, this and that, all these things. And it's like, you hear stories and you see things and whatever. And like, man, like, that's not the goal. You should be able to be yourself, have your own life, and then have your relationship where it's both, it's all, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, these are traps. All these traumas that we don't go back and heal and address and face, and that we drink away and smoke away and whatever, or we sleep away, or we fucking, TV away, or game away, or computer away, or porn away, or fucking exercise away, or whatever. It's like, okay, at least exercise is a healthy version. But a lot of it's like a lot of us haven't healed shit, so we just go do shit to extremes to not feel really what the problem is. And a lot of times, like, we don't even know what the actual core root is of what that miserable sinking feeling is when you wake up and go, oh, I don't want to do this shit. Like, just one more hour. Like, that used to be me every day, every single day. Now I'm just like, all right, like, time is it? All right, what time do I gotta be there? And then I start evaluating the reality of it. And then I start saying, all right, what am I grateful for? And then that has helped shift this whole fucking thing about, I gotta get up and whatever, right? Like, fuck, man. To me, if you used to ask me what was the worst things in the world, I would say waking up and people. And I'm not even kidding. Like, if you were to ask me, all right, what things do you hate? Well, man, waking up in the morning and people. Like, as long as I don't have those two things, I'm cool. And if you like, that's terrible. But how many people sound like that? How many people in the retail store talk like that? How many people in retail stores think like that? How many people just 9 to 5ing in the cubicles think like that? How many people are just like, I gotta, my weekend. Like, fuck your weekend. Like, dude, your weekend is not what makes you happy. It's the fact that you get to stop doing what you hate for a couple hours, barely, because your brain's halfway there half the time. And then you're sitting there wishing what you coulda, shoulda, woulda done, could have been doing. But you can't because you don't have the time or the money or the energy, which is why rest is important as the hard work, to use your money. Dude, I work with a lot of rich families and I work with a lot of really cool people. And there's a good, and I see my share of different types of people, right? The whole range. And I've definitely met and seen the dads or the moms where they're just so burnt and they're just so burnt out that they can't even enjoy the millions that they're making or the hundreds of thousands. They're just so like, like get the nanny to get the kid out of here. Like, I'm so tired. It's like working 100 hours a week at the office and come home and your kid's like, oh my gosh, daddy. And they're like, oh, what do you want? Like, okay, great. And it's like, when you don't have the energy to enjoy your family or your items or your time, I think that's probably the most important thing is if you don't have the energy to enjoy your own time, then shit's all fucked up. And that's also why I made the decision to take this rest today. Plus, I'm not trying to get anybody sick. I feel like it's pretty much over. I'm at the last tail of it, but we'll see. I think it's important that I rest and, maybe get some exercise. I haven't specifically exercised in a long time other than playing basketball with my kids the other day. But pancake syrup and yeah, man. So I don't know. I just want to say that. So keep in mind, reevaluate your traumas, reevaluate what's new trauma, reevaluate what's current trauma. And, think about all this Rona stuff. A lot of people acquired trauma during that and didn't even realize it. For me, I feel like I was going through the trauma during all the Rona shit. So then now which had led me to like freedom to avoid the suffering. That's why right now I have no problem being alone in an apartment by myself. I miss my kids when I'm alone by myself. And at the same time, I'm not miserable without them.
Damn, dude.
And I think that's an important piece. I'm also not like longing for them. Like, oh my God, I need to, like being weird either. It's like, no, I miss my kids, but healthily. And I think that's a good thing. It kind of creates excitement every time we see each other because, it's like if you think about it, and we spend way more quality time than this, but this is just an example. It's like 1 hour of absolute quality time with your kids is better than like 4 hours of running errands and going to church and this and that, which your kid is just like being dragged to and, just not wanting to do. So, and that's crazy to think about because it's true. 1 quality hour is better than like 24 shitty hours, right? Like, I don't know. That's kind of how I see like splitting up with a partner who you're not fit for also is that, and you have kids, it's like 2 happy homes is better than 1 unhappy home. And that's for damn fucking sure, dude, because we're all doing better like this. And and I understand that this is potentially trauma happening or whatever, and I'm totally cool because I'm facing it all as it comes. I'm feeling it out and taking my time to rest and really heal and do that for myself. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Yeah, man, I don't know, maybe go to the beach or something, dude. I need to chill out. Yeah, man. So shout out to all the listeners. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys please go ahead and leave us a 5-star and written review on Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, however you call it, and wherever else you can find podcasts. Yeah, dude, that would be dope. Listen notes, wherever. shout out to the listeners from all over. I really, really appreciate you guys. Keep tuning in, keep downloading, keep sharing this out. Make sure you tell your friends. And remember to say 3 things you're grateful for every morning, every night. For the rest of your life, the more we can practice, the better our lives will be. And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, and much love, you guys. So, Rooster Tail, take us out. Make sure you guys go download his latest album. That's at Kitsune, Kitsune, official. That's the Instagram. But yeah, Kitsune. Go check it out. So, Rooster Tail, take us out. Much love, everybody. Peace.
Damn, dude.